But there is a part of this story that a lot of people are missing. The FBI has had all this information about wrongdoing by the Biden family and yet has been working so hard to protect them. Why? They're not just ignoring it, they are actively working to cover it up. The cover-up by the FBI is worse than the crime. I think I know why they're acting this way. There is someone named Miles Gual being held in prison in New York. I think he is the key to this whole thing. He is the #1 enemy of China because he speaks out against President Xi Jinping. Miles Gual is being held in prison without bail before his trial for fraud. But the case against him is the weakest fraud case I have ever seen. I made another video walking through all the details of his case if you're interested, and I will leave the link in the description down below. But what is so strange about his situation is they are holding him in prison without bail. This is just so unusual. Bernie Madoff committed one of the largest frauds of all time. He was let out of prison on bail, waiting for his trial. Sam Bankman-Fried is currently charged with one of the largest frauds of all time. He was let out of prison on bail, waiting for his trial. 2 months ago, 2 people were arrested in New York for being Chinese spies. Actual Chinese spies were arrested. They were let out on bail within hours of being arrested. Isn't it strange that Miles Gual is still being held in prison based on weak fraud allegations? I think he's being kept in prison to shut him up. Do you know what else is strange? Do you know who used to be Miles Gual's lawyer? Christopher Wray. The same Christopher Wray who is now the head of the FBI. You have to admit, this is getting a little strange. So let's take a closer look at Christopher Wray. Before Christopher Wray became the head of the FBI, he was a partner at a law firm called King & Spalding. At the law firm, he was making $6.3 million per year. This is very strange. Partners in law firms generally make a lot of money, but they don't make that much money. When accountants look for fraud, one of the first things they look for is someone getting paid a lot more money than is normal for that type of job. So for instance, the American Bar Association released statistics that show that the average partner at the top 200 law firms in the US earned $1.054 million per year in 2019. How much did Christopher Wray make again? $6.3 million, more than 6 times as much. That's strange. There are only a handful of lawyers in the entire country that get paid that much. What was Christopher Wray doing that made so much money? Apparently, he was working for the Chinese Communist Party. That's why. We know this from comments from Nicole Tsai, spokesperson for the new federal state of China. Christopher Wray dropped Miles Gual as a client to go work for a CCP-owned company called the HNA Group. HNA Group is controlled by Wang Tishan, the former vice president of the People's Republic of China. HNA Group had a multi-billion-dollar contract with the law firm King & Spalding. That is why Christopher Wray was making so much money. So here's the chain of events. Christopher Wray drops Miles Gual as a client. He makes millions of dollars through his contract with the Chinese Communist Party, and when he becomes head of the FBI, he arrests Miles Gual and holds him in prison without bail. Doesn't that seem strange? Shouldn't someone in Congress ask the head of the FBI why he is imprisoning his former client? I would like to know that. Wouldn't you like to know that? Now, just for clarification, as I mentioned, this information came from Nicole Tsai, spokesperson for the new federal state of China. This is a lobby group created by Miles Guo with the goal of overthrowing the Chinese Communist Party. I have not been able to verify this information with a second source, so it might be biased, as they have their own agenda. However, I do not think we should dismiss these claims so quickly because their information has turned out to be correct in the past. During the pandemic, this was the same group who came out and said that the virus came from a lab leak in Wuhan, China. Just this week, it was revealed that patient 0 was identified as Ben Hu, a scientist at the Wuhan Institute of Virology who was performing research on how coronaviruses infect humans. We think he was the first person to get infected with the virus. So it turns out this group, led by Miles Guo, was right about the virus this entire time. Why didn't we listen to them? Maybe we should start paying attention to what they have to say this time, because it seems like they have some way to get information from inside the Chinese Communist Party. I don't know how they do it, but somehow they are doing it. And all of these allegations would be so easy to verify. Why don't we just ask Christopher Wray? Why was he making so much money as a lawyer? Was he taking money from the Chinese Communist Party? Why is he putting his former client in prison? One of the biggest questions in all of this is why has Christopher Wray been working so hard to protect Joe Biden? Why did he refuse to turn over the 1023 form to Congress? Why did he redact the information? Why has he not been investigating any of the leads against Joe Biden? I think it is possible that Joe Biden is not the only person committing treason. Christopher Wray might also be committing treason. I do not think that Republicans realize that in this situation, they hold all the cards. All this could be revealed just by asking simple questions. Here's what Congress should do. I think they should bring Miles Guo from prison to the Capitol and ask him 2 questions. Is there a connection between Joe Biden and the Chinese Communist Party? And has Joe Biden committed treason? I don't know what Miles Guo knows, but I have a feeling that he can answer these 2 questions. I would like to find out. Wouldn't you? Christopher Wray is trying so hard to shut this guy up. It only makes me think that Miles has something important to say. In order to convict someone of treason, you need 2 witnesses. That's why I believe Miles Guo is so important. We already have 1 witness in Tony Bobulinski. Depending on what Miles Guo knows, he could be witness number 2. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think that Joe Biden is guilty? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, please share this video. The only way that people hear this information is if you email it, put it on social media, and tweet it out. Get this information out there, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. There are more videos coming up that you don't want to miss. I'm Zach from Wolves in Finance. Thank you for watching.